You're listening to the Beats and Bars podcast hosted by BATTL Beats. This podcast is out there to shine a light on the most slept on and underrated rappers and producers.
It's battle, baby.
Hey, what's up? It's BATTL Beats here once again with another episode of Beats and Bars podcast. And we're joined with a very special guest today. We've got Eddie Ace, who is a very talented rapper. How's it going, man?
Aw. How's it going, man? I'm doing great, actually. Just everyday grind, working on music.
Mm-hmm.
Never stops. Love it.
I know exactly how that is. The daily grind doesn't stop. I've just spent some time away with my wife. We went away to Scotland, it was about a 4-hour drive, and we had a little bit of a holiday vacation.
Oh, man.
And it was super
That's
nice. But I made sure I took my laptop and my headphones so I could work on music still because, when you've been out for the day and, you sat at home, you sat back at where you're staying, you either watching telly, reading a book, playing a game, whatever. I thought, I'll just bring my laptop and work on music instead because it's more fun. So the daily grind doesn't stop. But do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how long you've been releasing music as Eddie Ace?
Yeah, no problem. I'm from the Mid, Michigan. Those who don't know, Auburn Hills. I've been writing songs for a long time, but I haven't really been releasing anything. Like before, it was just kind of just a hobby to write bars, and then later became, it started getting more serious because I had, people who were actually interested in what I had to say and how I did things because I was different, Mostly I was different because I didn't know what I was doing. But it all kind of worked out still. So it was great. And so pretty much from there, I've been doing it for I want to say maybe about a good 6.5 years. I didn't really get serious about it until maybe about 3.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I actually started doing videos and putting stuff out. But I usually did it more so to vent and whatnot.
Mm.
The thing is, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so it was always hard for, I was telling Zach this, but yeah, when I started out, I was the youngest of 6 kids. My family is quite the musical bunch. And the thing is, everyone already had different stuff taken, whether it was sports or any activities. So every time I came in, I was, the little guy, his younger brother, her younger brother. I could never have my own identity. And I think rap is really what helped me have my own identity because no one in my family does rap music.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, so it's kind of nice to have my own thing. And it's, I love every second of it. The good and the bad.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So what was so obviously you've had that family relationship where you've been known as the younger brother or whatever. And what was that pinnacle moment where you were like, you know what, I'm going to just do it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to own it as a rapper and this is going to be my thing. What was it like? What was that pinnacle moment?
So that pinnacle moment when I decided to I'm rapping, this is my thing, actually was about last year. Solidified it for me, which was Crip had that YouTube Cypher, and he had what he had is the submissions to come in, and for whoever wanted to be that last spot. And so that's my buddy hit me up and he's like, hey man, let's, you should do this. I didn't really listen to Crip. I didn't really listen to, YouTube rappers. I just kind of posted stuff on YouTube and SoundCloud, but so I didn't really know anybody, but I guess, he was pretty big. So I was like, yeah, I'll try it out. So we ended up cranking that out in a couple, in 5 days. I wrote one day, recorded it the second day, did a video the third day, edited the fourth day, and then put it out the fifth day. And then when I made the finals out of, I think 450 something submissions or something like that. And I'm the, final 12, and I was like, okay, I'm on the right path. Cause if they like it and I hadn't rapped in front of really anybody except for my friends. So for me to get that amount of recognition was the world to me. So, after that, I started doing a bunch of features with people for free. and then I got a couple paid ones, but I promoted doing them for free for people. And as soon as that happened, I started learning from each artist I worked with, and picked up tidbits along the way, and now I feel more comfortable and versed in rapping. And so really when I reached that moment of, wow, this is what I want to do, it's pretty much when I heard that I was in the top 12.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you'd made it that far. That's cool. What was that feeling?
Yeah,
What was that feeling like?
It was crazy because and it's funny. I remember like it was yesterday. It was funny, and it's funny, I didn't even win, but like just making it a top 12 was good enough for me. So what happened was I didn't even know I plan on making it, because this is my first competition I've ever entered. I haven't done anything like this before, so I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I remember I was up in my room, and then I was kind of scrolling, and I saw that I had my picture was in the thumbnail of Crip's thing. And then the second that happened, my buddy hit me up literally the exact second I saw that. And he's like, dude, I think either he called me or I called him, one of the two. But we hit each other up instantly and said that I'm on the thumbnail. And then we watched the video, and it was pretty crazy. So that moment was crazy, because I was like, it confirms that what I'm doing is working, and I'm just being myself, and that's good enough. You know what I mean? And there's nowhere else to go but up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's one thing that I like about you is that I want this to sound as nice as it can, but you're not like a traditional style rapper. I want to ask you about your lyricism later on, because I think you're a bit of a genius in that element. But you're all about lyricism. You tell a story, and it's easy to listen to, and it's nice to listen to you, and it's you're listening to your songs, and it's like you're here in the room. Whereas some rappers are just going so fast, or they're just spitting something random, or they're just talking about girls and drugs and things that they have never actually experienced before, but they're rapping about them because they feel like you have to. That's one thing I like about your style of rap. But do you want to just talk about how you sort of found your style, and how you sort of found your lane, and how you sort of rolled with it out? Because I think it's really cool and unique that you are being yourself and not trying to be like anyone else.
Yeah, I find it. I knew from when I started doing music that the hardest thing to maintain is a persona for and so like if I'm not like, because I never was like the cool guy, and so it's like, why try to be cool? Just it's because eventually they're gonna see that you're not cool. Why try to be some sort of ladies man when you're not a ladies man? You know what I mean? So it's just why try to be like you're Pablo Escobar, when you're not, like, just just be you. And I feel like for me it's just comedy. I like coming up with funny, clever lines. I like being kind of a smart ass. I have moments where I'm really in deep thought about stuff, and it's just, that's all around who I am, and I feel like that's why it feels more genuine. And because I do know what you mean when some rappers say all this other stuff, and it feels like they're just saying the words, but they don't really mean it.
Yeah, exactly.
And me, I just like having fun with it, and I think that's really all you can do, because if you're not having fun with it, then why do it?
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. If you're not enjoying it, then there's really no point. When I was a teenager, I remember thinking, right, what do I want to do? Do when you're just sort of about to finish high school, you can either go to college, university, or you can not. And I just remember saying to myself, I don't really want to go and get a degree, or I just don't. And I thought, well, what do I want to do? I want to do music. I want to, and I also studied theology because I'm quite passionate about that as well. And so I decided, right, I'm going to focus doing those things. And I'm so glad I did, because it meant that, I am where I am today. I'm the man I am today because of that choice that I made when I was like 17. And I'm really glad that I did, because if I had gone to like college or university, I really just don't think I would have enjoyed it. And you never know really what could happen to the choices that you make, they have big repercussions. So I think
Yeah,
it's
most
pretty
definitely.
cool that you just sort of decided to be yourself, which I think is really, really cool. But I remember
Thanks.
sorry, no, go on.
No, I was gonna say that I was just gonna add to your point though that I feel like people think that they have to go to school, go get a degree, and then get a major job, and then have this house and this big house and all these kids and all this, like and the thing is, it's just because that works for some other people doesn't mean that works for you.
Mm,
And I'm the same way to where it's like there's a lot of those things I don't really want, um, and that shouldn't be how you view success. It's all about how do you want to be, not how everyone else is. And I think that people get kind of caught up in comparing themselves to everybody else, and I think that's really what a lot of artists struggle with, is because they're too busy trying to say, well, this guy has this many viewers or followers or subscribers and he's
mm,
doing this stuff, that's why I'll do this stuff. And it's just like, it doesn't work the same for everybody.
mm. Yeah, I found that as a producer, like I've always said in this podcast that I never ever started off making beats when I was producing. When
Mm-hmm.
I was 14, I joined a band, and we played loads of shows, and it was kind of like indie rock stuff. And then I was in a couple other bands, and then obviously I've been playing guitar for over 12 years, but I started teaching myself piano, and then I've got into synthesizers and trying to blend different sounds and reverbs and delays and just nerding out about it really. And then it was about 5 years ago to this day where I had just moved back from England to Sweden, and I had a friend of mine who was in a band together. We'd written and self-produced an album. So about 5 years ago, I really got into music producing and recording and doing the best take and putting the mics in the right place and all these things. And it was really cool, but then that band never actually did anything more than that. We've got all these songs that we have never used. They're sat on my hard drive. Um,
Yeah.
so my journey really moved over from sort of being kind of really upset about that band not doing anything to like self-discovering myself as a producer. So then in the past 3 years, I sort of started making beats. I was watching some YouTube videos of some producers that were just really entertaining to watch. So I was like, right, I'm going to start getting into beats because it sounds cool. And then I kind of crafted my own style, and to the point now where I love making trap beats, but I feel so much more at home when I'm making like chiller lo-fi beats with some guitar and some really cool piano sounds. And I guess
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to be myself anymore. I don't want to have to try and be like some of these bigger producers that you see on the internet that are just all doing sometimes the same thing. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the challenging thing as well, because you could sell yourself out and start being that person. But then, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
if I try and be cool, people are going to soon realize I'm not cool. So it's like you just got to be yourself, and that can be a challenge. But that's when you don't, you can't give up and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I feel like that is one of the biggest challenges, because even in life, like I feel like the more you do, like you try to not become the person that you don't like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
And there's some things I feel like once you start going down that kind of slippery slope, I mean, that's just, that's sometimes how it is. Like I try not to be the guy who, like, when it comes to features and stuff, I try not to charge too much for features, because I know that the people who are asking me for features don't have a lot of money, but they really want to advance themselves, and they think I can help them, and I want to help them in any way I can. And it's like I'm not trying to take your last dollar. I mean, yes, putting in the work, I do put in a lot of work for every feature I do,
mm,
but it's one of those things where I could take your money and then say see you later, but I'd rather help you out and see help you grow, and if you don't want to do it at the end of the day and say, yeah, this isn't for me, at least that's your decision. But I don't want you to do that and feel like you lost something along the way, at least for now, for the start.
yeah, you want to feel like you're giving that value.
Mm-hmm.
so that they're not feeling cheated. Because at the end of the day, they've asked you because they feel like what you can bring to the table is going to be valuable to them. And then you've got to have that integrity as an artist, and you don't want to be ripping people off.
Yeah, and it's not about the money for me.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, I mean, I would love money, but I don't want to take your money just to
yeah.
make me level up.
Yeah, you got. I had to ask. You have to ask yourself the question a lot. Would you do this for free? And then, if the answer is no, then you maybe need to reevaluate it and think, well, why would you do it for free? Well, because you love it. You love doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
So yeah, you would do it for free. And then after that, then the money comes, and then people will come to you and want to work with you and want to ask you, how much can this feature be? How much for these beats? And it grows there, which is really cool. But
Yeah.
has there been, obviously you've just you're owning who you are as a rapper, you've got your image, and it's really cool. But what sort of style would you say as an artist you are?
So here's what I want to say. Doesn't mean
Mm.
it's true.
Mm-hmm.
um, I my biggest inspiration for music. There's a handful of artists, a small handful, that are the reason why I started rapping in the first place. Number one is Childish Gambino.
Mm-hmm.
Um, his uh, his album, his camp album, is really what drove me to start doing music. And I think that's really where I took writing more seriously, not necessarily recording, but like writing. When I first started out doing music, I was going to be a ghostwriter. That's what I wanted to do. Um, and then I realized that no one can say what I want to say the way, like I do. You know what I mean? Like it's not their stories. They're not weird like me. So it's like I can't just um. So I've always wanted to be so Childish Gambino is number one. Second is Watsky. Um, I love listening to Watsky. I don't know if you heard of him or not. He's I listen to him on YouTube all the time. And so I think he's got like 1 million subscribers now. But I've been
Oh,
watching him
nice.
for very many years. Back when he was on Ellen as like the white kid that raps fast or something like that, a video that went viral a long time ago. That's before the TikToks and the Twitters.
Mm.
And and so I ended up watching him very closely, and so I feel like him and Childish Gambino helped mold me into being that, kind of weird style rapper. A lot of people say I sound like Joyner in a lot of ways, and and so it's just so I take it as a compliment because I think he's a great rapper. I don't see it, but I can, it's just really weird when people compare to other artists, and you're like, that's one I haven't heard before, So
Nice. That's cool. That's cool. So I remember the first time I had ever heard you rap was last year, and I believe it was on Retrack Cypher.
okay.
So we're going back a while ago, and I remember listening and thinking it was really cool. One of the cool things about it, besides your bars and your lyrics, it was awesome, was just the video that you recorded where you was just singing into like, it looked like your kid's like toy microphone thing, and there was a kid in the background. I mean, was that even your kid? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are my nephews. I love my nephews. And it's great to spend time with them. And so it was really funny because they wanted to be in the video, and I was like, oh yeah, most definitely, you guys want to be in the video? Yeah, totally. So it was nice. They wanted to dress up and wear capes and stuff. I said, yeah, that's all good. And it's nice that I can do something that they also enjoy. You know, um, I made sure I watched my language. I had to just like voice over whether just make sure I'm getting all the other parts. But overall, it's really fun. My brother was, I don't know if you saw that there's a monkey in the background,
mm-hmm.
and it was kind of moving along with the beat, and it was my brother. He was like, oh yeah, so it was just, we had a great time, and we just had a blast filming it. And so overall, like, I felt it was an accomplishment in itself. I got to hang out with my family. I got to make a fun video, and I got to rap. It's literally the best combination, which just makes me, so I'm glad you checked out. That was your first song. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was
To check
it
out.
was it was really cool. And I had HOLO on the podcast last week,
Yeah, I was seeing that.
Yeah, and he was telling me how since that podcast, that Cypher, you guys really linked up and became good friends. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the relationship you guys have? Because I know you've featured a lot on each of the songs, and I
Yeah.
know that you've got a lot of songs that are with me, but kind of in the vault because HOLO won some beats from me, and I know I sent him some, and I know you guys are working on a little something. So do you want to just tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about you guys?
So me and Hollow are getting married. No, me and him are. He reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, man, and he said that if I'd be to do a feature." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem. I do few features, no big deal." Did a feature and on his Hollow tapes, and it was
Yeah, I
Pour
like
One,
that one.
and and then he ended up saying, "Hey, we should do an EP together." And he's not the first person to ask me. And so usually when someone asks me that, I'm just usually like, I don't know. But he was. I love his comedy. When he makes jokes, I think he seems like a really cool guy. So I was like, yeah, most definitely. So I said, yeah, I'll do an EP with you. So we're gonna do this EP project, and so after that, me and him pretty much clicked. We became great friends. We video chat every now and then, and we were actually supposed to meet yesterday for the first time. Um, for the wedding. No, we were supposed to meet yesterday for the first time, but my for some music videos, and then my camera guy ended up getting sick. So I was like, oh man. So we're gonna have to post another day for that. But since he lives in Ohio, I live in Michigan. We're about two hours and so away, and so we were gonna film a bunch of music videos and have a blast. So I'm still excited about that. I really wish we got to meet up. But yeah, so me and him been working on a lot of stuff from Gumby to the MLB song. I don't that's not out yet, but we played it on a different channel, I believe. And so yeah, we're working on this EP. The beats from you are amazing. That's where
Thank you.
I heard of you through there, also through WN. Which
Yeah,
I love that guy.
yeah. Me and WN are like really, really close friends. Um, we've just hit it off. Actually today, this morning, I mastered all 7 of the songs for the EP.
Oh,
Low
nice.
highs. Yeah, I finished it today, and Wyatt's just told me that they're sounding great, so I don't have to do anything to them, which is always good. So we are going to be Zooming or Facebook videoing or whatever video chatting this next week to discuss the release plan. But that's really cool that
That's awesome.
you yeah. So, and also another thing, just to um, blow your ego up a little bit more. Me and WM was talking about, because me and him chat all the time. He's been on 2 or 3 episodes of this podcast already, and he was saying to me, I got a video idea for YouTube. I was like, okay, go on. He was like, well, what about if I do the best underrated YouTube rappers versus like the 5 best more known YouTube rappers? And I was like, oh yeah, cool. He was like, oh, I was saying, oh, well, who are you going to put in the list then? And he was like, this guy, this guy, this guy. Oh, and Eddie Ace, I think he's going to be up there as well. So shout out to WN for calling you out and saying that he'd have you
I
in
know.
his top 5 underrated guys off YouTube. So this it's cool.
That's an honor, and it's I'll tell you what, like, so and WN, he's got my personal number. Like, I got my business phone on my personal phone. He's on my personal phone, and so I text him just to check on him every now and then.
Mm,
Love the guy, great personality. Wrote some bars on him, bars about him in some of my songs. Um, giving him a shout out. I
nice.
love his personality. So he's a great guy. I watch his videos, and it's crazy because, like, I've seen other reactors react to my music. I've seen other producers, talk about my stuff. And it's funny because I never met any of these people before, but people tell other people about me, and it's crazy to see that people are like, oh yeah, I've heard of Eddie Ace before. and it just makes me feel like, oh man, that's crazy. I don't even know this guy, and he's already heard of me, and he's
Mm.
like my songs, and it always gives me goosebumps because I'm like, it's just nuts, you know. I've never seen this person, never met them, but they know of me, they know about me, they like what I do, and it just makes me really feel like I'm doing the right things, and you know, as long as it's all positive, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the super cool thing about you know, if you stick to your own, you know, if you have integrity, you stick to who you are, and you're just good to the people that you work with or that you're friends with, they're gonna say nice things, and it's like a ripple effect, which is really cool. I'm sure that you know, if when me and WN started working together, if I was a bit of a jerk or an idiot, we wouldn't have the relationship that we have today. You know, really good friends. We've never met in real life because I'm in England and he's in Texas. But if we did meet up, we'd probably give each other a big hug and be like, "Bro, what's up? It's so good to see you." You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. But if I was a jerk, we wouldn't have that relationship. So there's just no point ever to be a jerk, really.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about Instagram and YouTube and stuff. You just work with people. I've made records with people all over America, and you know, some in Africa, and also, and it's just like, it's crazy. I would never have ever been able to do that when I'm 26 now. When if you're telling a 12-year-old little battle beats that in 14 years time you'll be able to send a beat or some stems to someone and they'll be able to make a song. It's just crazy. You just never would have thought it would have happened, and that's the coolest thing about the internet.
Yeah.
It is super sick. But so have you got another date planned for when you're gonna film these videos for the HOLO Eddie Ace EP, or?
Not yet. I gotta find like 3 weeks in advance plans, but I'm gonna try to do it as soon as possible. Hopefully in like 3 weeks. I gotta hit him up. Because these songs I really enjoy, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be really fun. So we have that. We still got a couple songs. We got a bunch of songs we got to write that are just in the back burner. I mean, you know how that is, having all those projects just sitting around. That it's like they're almost done, or they're kind of, we already know what we want to do. You just never touch them because something else comes up, and then it just gets on the back burner. I think every rapper, every producer has that kind of thing. And so we got a lot of songs to work on. I know that he's working on something right now, and that he's kind of brought forward, and it's sounding really good. And so I'm really happy for him, excited for him, and he's just like, he is leaps and bounds, like he is advancing really fast. In my opinion, I'm like, it's crazy. Like I feel like when we did Hollow tapes, like the way he mixes now and the way he raps now is even better. By far, and it's just, I already liked him then, so it's crazy.
Yeah, he's really got better. He really has. When I first heard him, I was like, man, this guy's good, but he's really progressed because he puts the work in. It's like last night. I am British, but I'm a Lakers fan. Don't at me. Been a fan since '05, so I'm an OG.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so obviously LeBron James, he's just put the work in for 17 years, just grinding, always just going at it, and then he's just won his 4th championship. It's like it's obvious. You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in.
And it's proof, because that's why you can't deny when people say they're the best. You can't just be like, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's when it's that, when you put in the work in and everyone notices around you, it just shows how dedicated you are, and it automatically puts you above most people.
Exactly. But one thing I'd like to ask you is, I know that you've written a song called Letter to My Younger Self, and I really like that song. I really like the beat as well. One question I like to actually ask people is, what would you like to say to a younger Eddie Ace, and give them advice? But you've already written a song about it, so do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
About the song or about what I would say, I guess.
Just both. All
But
of.
both. Okay. So pretty much, when writing the song, I really feel as if when I was younger, I was always scared of the future. I never liked change, and I feel as if like all the bad stuff feels when you're in the bad stuff, it feels like it's gonna last forever, and I feel like telling my younger self that it's going to get better, and not that it's going to get better, but you're going to become better because of it, and you're going to learn
Hmm.
from it, and that's going to help you be the person who you are today. And I think about it constantly, like if would my younger self be proud of me right now? Because I was, I mean, I was an extremely nice kid then. I try to still stay nice now. But like and I really feel that the answer is yes. I don't have to really question it, because I know that where my heart's at. And though I've been through a lot of stuff, it all comes around, and it's like I learned from that, I've grown from that, and I made a lot of mistakes.
Mm.
Um, and it just seems as if learning from those mistakes is really what makes the difference. Um, and so that's all. I really wanted to really put that in a song, because I feel like a lot of people are the same way and feel the same way, where they're in this mess and they feel like, what's the point? What's going on? It's just like, not only will it get better, but you'll get better because of it, because you have that mindset of, this is just an obstacle I need to get through, and once I get through this obstacle, I'll be a lot stronger because of it. And
Mm.
so that's really what I want to portray in all of it.
That's really cool. That's really cool. It's really good advice as well. Really good advice.
Thank
That's
you.
I sometimes don't know what I'd say to my younger self. I'd probably say, don't put up with some people's crap, and don't be such a pushover. That's probably what I would say to a younger me. But yeah, that's a different story. But one thing I would like to talk to you about as well is your lyricism, because you are quite the lyricist, and
Thank you.
there's a lot of I remember listening to one of your songs. I can't remember the name of it, but your bar was um, something like, "I'm gonna battle star like it's Galactica," or some. It was something
Oh
like that,
yeah.
and it
Um,
was really clever, and the wordplay was really really cool, and I really liked it. So do you want to just tell us how you sort of, your thought process behind your lyrics, and how you sort of became quite a lyricist?
yeah. So I've always been like a smart aleck. I always like making jokes. I make a lot of dad jokes. I'm a very punny guy. Um, and when I do puns, people are like, ugh. But like when you do it lyrically, it's cool, right? Like, so if you do it the right way. So I feel like sometimes rap is a thing where it's like borderline cheese, or like, you're on the fence of if it's gonna be cheesy or really cool, and it
Mm.
just depends on how the person feels. So and me, I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. So if it's cheesy, it's cheesy. And everyone, and who doesn't like cheese, so um and when I read my lyrics, I always come up with some bars when I'm writing. Like, if I'm watching TV, and I said a lyric before, something like you know uh like if I'm watching Star Wars or something like that, I make like like a Han Solo bar or Leia bar, but I'm like, I want to do it differently than what most people would say. So it's just like, I've been writing solo like Leia, you know what I mean? Like, and then make it kind of like a sex joke, and but also make it like I'm writing solo like by myself. So it's just kind of like a whole a whole thing. So I like a lot of nerd bars, and I like making them kind of seeming cool, if I can make them work that way. And I feel like that really is a major help in my lyricism. But yeah, me and my brother he used to play on his guitar, and he would play Smoke on the Water, I believe.
Mm.
And he would play that, and while he does that, I would just like come up with all these spoof lyrics the entire time. And it was just, so that's really when I started doing a lot of jokey stuff. And I said, oh yeah, so not that I'm necessarily a complete like jokester rapper, but I feel like I can find a good blending of making that mix with everyday life. And I feel like that's what really helps me out, is finding that nice line between cheesy and cool.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, I guess it's a fine balance to find, but I think you do it well, so it's really good.
Thank you.
But what would you say are the next 5 years looking like for you? What are your goals?
um, uh, Me and Hollow, white picket fence. No, I think
Sounds like
that.
you got, it sounds like you got a bit of a man crush on Hollow.
Yeah, no,
May,
I always
may,
mess with him every single time. He messes.
maybe you need to have that conversation with him, bro, and just get it off your
Yeah,
chest.
yeah. Possibly this is where it all comes out. No, it's funny because he always messages me. He's like, you know, like what up, slut? And I'm like, what up, bitch? You know, and we just always go back and forth, and you know, and then we make sex jokes. Like he's just really funny guy. Me and him have the same kind of humor, so it clicks. Like he always has me rolling, and not a lot of people can make me laugh, like he does. And so yeah, maybe it's a bit of a man crush, but it's all good. He knows I
Yeah,
love him. So
bromance. It's a bromance. That's what
you know,
we call.
some people just click. So I told him so the next 5 years really what I want to do is I want to finish this project I'm working on, which is taking me forever. I'm working on it was supposed to be an EP that became an album that's like back to an EP. I had like a lot of songs on there, and then a little that's like it's just fluctuating right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then right now I'm waiting for just a ton of features to send me stuff, and then we'll see how it goes. But I'm working on an album ish EP ish called Live Big, Dream Bigger. It's really about, you know, what's going on in the world, and kind of like trying to help people get motivated, and you know, don't focus on the haters, you know, anybody that's throwing shade at you, you know, it's not worth it, you know, just you. So it's got a lot of different messages in it, so I'm trying to keep it, you know, I'm trying to get that done. I really enjoy the track list so far.
Nice.
um and it also shows like where I want to be in 5 years, you know, or further, you know, or sooner. So that's all going to be on that project, which I'm really excited about. And then so I'm trying to get that stuff out. What I really want to do within the 5 years is I really would like to um expand and be able to find a way to help more people out with their music careers than you know, because I know that I'm helping people now, but I want to be more effective in how I do it. That's, you know, that's better for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
beyond just doing a feature. um because I feel like what I want to do in life more than just rapping is help other artists out. And I think that if I can find the best way to do that, or where I can help connect people, and help make it cheaper for everybody, and help people learn and grow and practice, I think that's really what I want to do. So I feel like where I want to be is, you know, a more established rapper, but, you know, more importantly, the go-to guy. That is very the word I'm thinking of is effective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is very effective. So that's what I want to be, where I want to be in 5 years.
Very nice. That's cool, man. That's very cool. But last question.
Yeah.
I've been wondering, are you into English football, like soccer? Because you looks like you're wearing a classic
So
football top. So
yeah, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so I couldn't find any other shirts to wear. No. I was, I guess, you know, it was funny because I was talking to my sister about this, dude. I was telling her I was on um Sack Juggalo's channel. I don't know if you heard of him, but he does interviews and stuff. And so we were talking, and I told him this embarrassing story about me and my brother at this swim class. You guys should check it out, whoever's watching this. And it's hilarious. And so it's a very embarrassing story. Which then I was like, man, I hope I have a funny story to tell on your podcast. And I couldn't think of one. And I'm like, I'm sure it'll come to me when we actually do the podcast and we're talking back and forth. And so now I just thought of it, and here we go. So in terms of football, soccer. So my brother is, you know, was a really good soccer player. He still plays soccer, you know, occasionally with like, I think he does. He used to do that in college a lot. And so me being the youngest, trying to be as good as my brothers were in sports and anything, which never happened. um, so I remember I was playing soccer. I was on the soccer team. We were playing against this one school, and I think I was in, I want to say like fourth, fifth grade. It was, I want to say fifth grade. I don't want to say fifth grade, but I'm gonna have to. I think it's fifth grade. So we were playing soccer, and against the other team, and I ended up was on defense, terrible defense. I know we're balls going back and forth. We were up ahead a couple points, and I was trying to do this like really cool like juke move. The ball ended up going backwards right into our own net,
Oh
and
man.
it was so embarrassing. And I was like, well, I can't do this sport again. So like as soon as that happened, I was like, luckily we won the game, but I was so embarrassed, and I'm like, this is just not it. So that's when I decided I can't play soccer anymore. So I don't keep up with soccer. But I do enjoy the sport. I just wouldn't play it in front of humans. So
That is fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
yeah, so it was embarrassing, but I learned from that, and I even have a lyric like, sometimes in life you gotta make your own goals, so it's just sometimes you just learn from experience, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And you can't let that stuff get you down. So soccer is not my thing in terms of playing it, but I do enjoy watching occasionally.
Nice. Hey, that's good. That's good, man. But I'd just like to say thanks for coming on the podcast. It's been a great episode, and it's really cool to actually like talk in person instead of DMs.
Yeah.
Because that's how a lot of these podcasts goes. That people have DM'd and been texting on Instagram, but never actually spoke to them properly. So that's why it's great to have people on the podcast just to get to know them as well, which is awesome. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really enjoy it. We definitely got to talk because I got some stuff. I was prepping my stuff to send you because I'm really excited to see what you can do. The songs I'm sending you are from like a year ago, so I'm really I know that you're gonna kill it. So I'm super excited. So hopefully I can send those to you sometime soon. So thanks for having me, man. I'm really glad I get to actually talk to you in person.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And yeah, I'm super looking forward to working on those beats and tracks and stuff. It's going to be super awesome. And I'm looking forward to having some songs with you as well, which is going to be amazing. But just send me them whenever. I'm pretty flexible at the moment with my time, so it should be good. But anyway, I'll just hit stop recording and we'll leave it there. Thank you for listening to the Beats and Bars podcast. I'm your host, Battle Beats. See you next week.
It's bad.